Welcome to Marvel Heroes Biography. Today is about an interesting hero. The Beyonder is the manifestation of the Beyond Realm, which exists separately from the multiverse. This dimension was accidentally accessed by lab technician Owen Reese. Some of the energy from the dimension escapes and imbues Reese with infinite powers, which he wields as the villainous Molecule Man, and the remaining energy gains sentience and becomes the Beyonder. The Beyonder creates a planet called Battleworld out of pieces of various planets and abducts a number of superheroes and supervillains from Earth and forces them to fight each other so that he can observe the never-ending battle between good and evil. During this time, his powers are briefly stolen by Dr. Doom. Secret Wars the Seku. Intrigued by what he has witnessed during the first Secret Wars, the Beyonder comes to Earth during the Secret Wars 2 storyline to walk among humans and study them and learn of human desire firsthand. He creates a human body for himself. This body originally resembles Molecule Man. He also transforms a television writer named Stuart Cadwell into Thundersword. Finally, the Beyonder creates a form for himself based on that of Captain America after witnessing him defeat Armadillo. After learning of the importance of money from Luke Cage, the Beyonder turns a building into pure gold, causing Spider-Man to rescue those trapped in the building, while the US government works to get rid of the gold to avoid a financial crisis. The Beyonder later meets the blind superhero Daredevil and restores his sight, asking for legal representation in return. After realizing that the desire to protect his eyesight might compromise his integrity and dedication, Daredevil demands that the Beyonder take his sight away again, which he does. After becoming involved with a woman named Sharon Ng, when we learn that he is open to loving women and men, and can also change his own gender, Beyonder attempts to get Dazzler to fall in love with him, but fails, leading to feelings of despair. Following this, the Beyonder is recruited to be a professional wrestler, and is nearly killed by Thing in a UCWF wrestling match. In order to combat Beyonder, Mephisto sent his demon agent Bitterhorn to form the Legion Accursed. While waiting for the Legion Accursed to arrive, Mephisto tricked Thing into signing a contract that would increase his strength. When the Legion had arrived, Thing had to defend Beyonder from them. By the time Mephisto planned to drop his contract with Thing, nearly all of the Legion were defeated. Due to Beyonder and Thing ruining his plan, Mephisto returned all the villains to where they were before he began his scheme. After being encouraged to find enlightenment by Doctor Strange, and failing, a frustrated Beyonder decides to destroy the entire multiverse, leading to several more battles with various Marvel superheroes, all of which end up with the Beyonder victorious. The Beyonder is finally defeated by a huge group of superheroes, including the Fantastic Four, X-Men, Avengers, and Spider-Man, after the Molecule Man intervenes and kills him, while he had temporarily transformed into an infant in the midst of a rebirthing process. The Beyonder's energy returns to the Beyond Realm, where it evolves into a new universe. Deadpool team-up. Long after the Secret Wars 2 crossover had ended, a Deadpool special featured The Secret Wars 2 continues in this issue corner tag that was used during that original storyline. In this issue, a younger, less experienced Deadpool is hired by the Kingpin to kill the Beyonder. The flashback sequence ends with Deadpool chasing him into a portal with a footnote saying, "To be continued in Secret Wars 3. Cosmos and the Maker." The tale of the Beyonder continues several years later, when it is revealed that, in the distant past, the enigmatic Beyonders created pocket universes holding vast amounts of sentient energy. Some are tapped into by various beings, including Skrulls and humans, to create reality-warping cosmic cubes. The Beyonder is told that this is his origin, but he is missing a containment vessel, and the Molecule Man absorbed part of his energy. They merge and shape themselves into a cube. The cube expels the Molecule Man from its form, returning him to Earth, and soon evolves into the cosmic being known as Cosmos. Cosmos takes on a female form and is tutored by Kubik, touring the universe with him. When the Molecule Man's lover Volcana leaves him, he becomes angry, extracts the Beyonder from Cosmos, and proceeds to attack him until Kubik intervenes. At some unknown point, Cosmos becomes insane and assumes a mortal form, now calling itself the Maker. After the amnesiac Maker destroys a Shi'ar colony, the Imperial Guard imprison it in the interstellar prison called the Kiln. The Maker's madness takes control of several inmates but is finally subdued by Thanos and several of his allies among the prisoners. Thanos confronts the Maker, and by refusing to reveal its origins at a critical juncture, manipulates it to psychically shut down its own mind. Thanos instructs the Shi'ar that the body should be kept alive but brain-dead, or the Beyonder essence would go free again. In the Annihilation crossover storyline, the Fallen One, a former herald of Galactus under the control of Thanos, is sent to investigate the aftermath of the Kyln's destruction by the Annihilation Wave and ascertain the Beyonder's fate. The Fallen One finds the lifeless form of the Maker in the rubble, confirming the Beyonder's freedom. The Illuminati the Beyonder in his human form. Art by Jim Chung. In a retcon of past events, Charles Xavier reveals to his fellow Illuminati members that in the original Secret War, he had attempted to mind scan the Beyonder, revealing him as one of the Inhumans previously ruled over by Black Bolt. Xavier also deduced the apparent secret behind the Beyonder's seemingly godlike abilities, which was that the Beyonder was not only an Inhuman but also a mutant, and the exposure of his mutant genes to Terrigen mists had created an unprecedented power. This revelation leads to a confrontation with the Beyonder during the events of the Second Secret War, wherein Black Bolt expresses his extreme displeasure toward the Beyonder's activities. When encountered, the Beyonder is dwelling in a simulacrum of Manhattan Island on Ceres. The Illuminati convince the Beyonder to leave the universe, causing the Beyonder's human form and his simulacrum city to crumble into dust. However, Black Bolt admits that he has no memory of an Inhuman becoming the Beyonder, and the final image of the story reveals that the entire event was in the pupil of the Beyonder's right eye, thus making the revelations dubious. Time runs out. Hank Pym is sent by the Illuminati to investigate the incursions and the collapsing multiverse. Upon discovering the truth of the Ivory Kings, Pym returns to the Illuminati to warn them about their enemy, the Beyonders. He refers to the Beyonder from the original Secret Wars as a child unit of the Beyonders. The Molecule Man later reiterates the same thing, while also revealing that the accident that gave him his power and the child Beyonder his awareness was engineered by the Beyonders. Fenders of the Beyonder appears to the Defenders after they left the multiverse. He explains the history of the Beyonders before reluctantly joining the Defenders on their quest. Upon reaching the House of Ideas, he decides to break free from and leave the story of the One Above All, promising to return on his own terms. Powers and abilities. The Beyonder is an infinite-dimensional or beyond-dimensional entity and was originally portrayed as the most powerful being in the Marvel Comics multiverse, and as the be-all and end-all of the Beyond realm that took human form to better understand the nature of human beings. The narration stated that he possessed power millions of times greater than the entire multiverse combined, and that a regular universe was a drop of water in the ocean compared to the Beyond realm. The Beyonder proved capable of destroying and recreating the abstract entity known as Death across the multiverse, although it extremely exerted and weakened him to do so. However, even in this state, he was capable of easily sending a horde of demons back to hell with a wave of his hand. Despite his power, the Beyonder has shown moments of vulnerability. He was overwhelmed when Rachel Summers returned the enormous powers that he had bestowed upon her, along with the thoughts of the past and present beings in the universe, to the point that he collapsed on the ground, and he was apparently slowed down in battle against the Molecule Man. He also lost part, or all, of his power on various occasions, some of them engineered by himself. He also stated that the Puma, when in perfect harmony with the universe, was capable of killing him. However, on another occasion, after trying to be a superhero by fighting a superpowered biker gang, the Beyonder stated that he limits his powers to keep them more in line with the world around him. After his creator, Jim Shooter, left Marvel, writer-editor Tom DeFalco retooled the Beyonder, diminishing his power greatly. He was no longer nearly omnipotent, and several of the cosmic beings who were previously established to be below him in power were vastly upgraded in conjunction. Nonetheless, the Beyonder retained his reality-warping powers, allowing him to control and manipulate matter, energy, and reality at a cosmic level beyond all but the strongest and most powerful of cosmic entities. He repelled Galactus like a bug and exceeded the collected energy of the latter's world ship. He once destroyed a galaxy on a whim to meet his needs during the first Secret Wars, and later created a universe out of his own being. When the Molecule Man extracted the Beyonder from Cosmos, their battle took place in more than 3 spatial dimensions and threatened to cause vast destruction across the multiverse. In Cosmos's Maker incarnation, she was stated as capable of reversing the crunch itself, essentially collapsing the universe. However, his scale of power was stated to be significantly below the Living Tribunal and Eternity, the Celestials, or Molecule Man. After the Beyonder was retconned again to be a child of the race of Beyonders, and he was later seen fully grown and interacting with an assembly of them, his power was presumably upgraded to a similar scale to them. And other Beyonders have together managed to kill the Living Tribunal and all of the Celestials in the Marvel Multiverse. However, it was stated that he is considerably less powerful than the multiversal Phoenix Force.